The Brightside Chronicles is about to go down with Kerry and Nana. You ready for the show to begin?
Hey, let's go. Let's get it. It's almost showtime. Let's go. Let's get it. It's almost go time. Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yo,
hey, what? Hey,
welcome to this song. Yo, I be really vibing when that song comes on. Y'all don't understand. Like, I just be like,
wait, shout out to my cat. Shout out to my cat. Hey,
All right, I'm
Hey.
hopping in here for everybody who's joining us. Welcome to episode 6
666.
of the Brightside Chronicles, where Nana, my amazing co-host down here, and myself bring people of all walks of life to inspire you with joy, laughter, and bring the bright side of life live to you every day. Welcome today to Ashley and Jack Sparrow. When he gets here, I think he's getting water.
Alex.
Alex is coming. He's right next to me.
No worries. I mean, the Brightside Chronicles are all about laughter and joy and all the fun things. So Nana and I started the Brightside Chronicles because so often in our society, we're so focused on highlighting the fear-based narratives, and Nana and I live our lives in joy and empowerment and curiosity, and so we want to inspire others to do that through stories of people who are showing up and living authentically and doing life on their own terms, which is what Ashley and Jack Sparrow are doing. So thanks for being here, guys.
Woo-hoo.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it was already a party before we even went live. So this week,
So you sign up for with us.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Chaos.
Yeah, absolute chaos for sure.
Listen, chaos is awesome.
I support
it.
I support it.
Cosplay, right? I mean, I don't cosplay. I cosplay once for my boyfriend because I love him and it was his birthday, but it's not something that I do on the regular. But all three of you guys, Nana, Ashley, and Alex, also known as Jack Sparrow, and other things, because I believe you were some.
You just want to call Alex Jack Sparrow. Just admit it. You just want to call Alex Jack.
I'll take it. Yeah, I'd rather be him, honestly.
Yeah.
Wait, what is it?
No, I'm saying you just want to keep calling Alex Jack Sparrow, but it's cool. Like, you know what I mean?
Who says Jack Sparrow? So, I mean, and besides, in all reality, I met him as Jack Sparrow. So, like, he's kind of like Armani.
He is Jack Sparrow.
People more often meet me as Jack than Jack nowadays.
Yeah. I love that. So, how'd you guys get into cosplay, and how does that inspire joy in your everyday life?
You want me? Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
I started cosplay I think it was senior year of high school. I put like a first like official kind of outfit together. It was Rick Grimes, the main character from The Walking Dead. So I was obsessed at that point. So I got like just the jacket and like a little like fake like gun and stuff like that. And was like, yep, this is what I'm doing now. And it was cool. But then I started going to conventions and you just kind of like see the other people who put like hours and like time into their outfit. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. And so I started doing that, just kind of built my way up with more intricate stuff. I tried to like get a little bit of hand. I'm an Eagle Scout, so I have a little bit of hand in like leather working and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's actually going to come in handy. So I tried to do more intricate stuff. And I started doing Captain Jack in 2017. And then shortly after that, I started doing that professionally. So it's been a ride. And, you know, I tell you, I think like doing it first and foremost for the kids birthday parties and running into a kid like at any event or just in public when I'm doing it, and like if they light up and like have a really, really great time, I think that in and of itself is worth it. The fact I get a little bit out of it too is great as well. Ashley, what about you?
Well, I technically started in like high school, like 2000. Oh God, I'm dating myself, like 2005. But at the time, to be honest, I was not very confident in like myself at the time and my body, all of that. So I used to just literally show up at cons like with my boyfriend at the time, and like a graphic tee because I just was very insecure. Yeah. And to be honest, This one right here, don't cry. He's inspired me a shit ton. And yeah, just like watching him just be himself like fully has just made me
Yep.
want to cosplay and like be myself. I am not handy at all. I cannot make shit. Maybe one day. So your girls on Amazon, your girls on MIC costumes, whatever you pronounce that shit. Don't know. Don't know my cool stuff.
Halloween.
But like
It works.
but it works.
Oh, it works.
But I used
Yeah.
to be so timid, and now I'm literally like so outgoing. I love meeting new people. This change is just crazy, and I do kind of owe it to this guy right here.
Well, I
know.
admit that you've had like sort of a character arc with cosplay, even like throughout the
Ooh.
time I've known you, and like certain outfits you've been willing to break out that like you've said might be a little bit more revealing, and you're like, all right, this is like a little bit outside the zone, and then you do it, and you're like, oh yeah, yeah, exactly, and you're like, nope, this works, and we have a great time. So I'm really happy that like we've done this, and that you've like gone beyond your comfort zone and have been like enjoyed it. I think that's really really great.
Yeah,
You know,
we thrive.
we do,
together.
we thrive.
Besties.
Yep.
I
Good.
love that because having worked in mental health and addiction recovery for many, many years, I
Mhm.
tell people, right, there is no quick fix to overcome anxiety and to build self-confidence. The way in which we do is we show up one moment at a time, pushing ourselves just a little bit more each time. And I truly believe in community, which is why Nan and I do this show in the first place, because you have that person who's showing up and willing to put themselves out there, be rejected, make a fool out of themselves. And it gives us the courage to kind of step into that. And as we do it more and more, we step into our own unique individual selves. And in doing so, we shine brightly and give other people permission to do the same. So I love that so much.
I mean, my take on it was like, I like that y'all just like bonded from just a thing that is quote unquote perceived as like, oh, that's childish. And I'm like, that's not childish. That's just self expression. You know what I mean? Like, and it shows that you can be your inner child, also obviously being an adult, but you can express your inner child in certain experiences. Whether in high school, I remember even going back to Alex's point, I dressed up in high school. I remember I used to love Halloween. I'd be like, yo, Halloween's coming up, mark it on my calendar because I get to dress up which is funny because I could have dressed up any other day. But like, I remember one of the first outfits that I dressed up was a Spider-Man. And this was like,
Hell yeah.
like junior year of high school, and I was walking around Peter Parker, and it was just the funniest shit. Like, I was probably like one of the two kids that dressed up that Halloween or whatever. But I was just like, dude, it's just self-expression. And then years later, I was like, dude, I kind of like this whole like it's just a way to just express myself and not ever take life too seriously, because life is already serious enough. So like that within itself, it was really awesome that you guys meshed and bonded and have grown from just being around each other and enjoying each other's company in these settings of bonding in a sense. So that's my take on it for sure.
I love that.
The community is insane. I mean, we were just talking earlier, like the amount of people that we've managed to like become social with over even like relatively the small amount of not that many years we've like consistently been doing conventions, but like even that,
a lot of people.
yeah, the amount of people is just insane. I mean, like I just even like I'm only 25, but even when I was in like high school, being a nerd and like dressing up like that, you're a loser and like you're gonna get beat up like always. That's just the thing. And now just to see the amount of people that like we're all in that like space and you didn't know it, and now like we can all do it. It's super cool. It's like incredible. And now like I think that is one of the best parts about it. It's one of, in my opinion, one of the only good things to come out of like a social media era is that we all can connect with people like-minded, and like we all have these massive events throughout the entire country that we all just sort of like nerd out together, and it's cool now, which is just awesome. Like, yeah.
I'm just I'm just really, really enjoying it. And
so I can't help it. Like, so how Ashley and Alex, aka Jack, how would you
He's
say?
gonna say that all night.
I know. How would you say cosplaying or showing up in different characters at conventions, or obviously you, Alex, do this for work? How has that infused joy in your every single day life?
Well, I would say that number one, doing it as a career has definitely impacted that. I mean, you got to find some kind of joy in the work you do every day, or you will go insane. And I kind of might be going insane having this as a career path, but like here we are, and we're not stopping anytime soon. So I think it's great. The other people getting joy in it is especially great. I mean, when I show up to random things, whether it's like the Special Olympics or like just some random like birthday party in like the smallest town I've ever seen, and like the same amount of like outpouring of joy and like amazement that some people have just because I show up in a fictional character's outfit is incredible to me. And I'm like, well, if that's all I gotta do, I'm gonna keep doing that, absolutely. And then it leads me to just get like Ashley's like my best friend now, and like it wouldn't have happened if we didn't bond over like stuff like this. And so it's just incredible how like how many important things come out of this in your personal life. Even when you just don't do it like as a hobby, it's kind of nuts how everything just kind of like webs together.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, going off of that, I'm definitely into the whole manifestation thing, and if you put out positive energy, you're gonna get that back for sure. Never really believed in that, and then now, I mean, that's literally my entire life right now. I've been just trying to bring out good energy, and I've been absolutely getting it back. But like, I mean, I feel like I came out the freaking womb as a nerd. I grew up watching my dad play video games. Between I was like in freaking diapers watching him, and I just clung on to like video games and Marvel and just all that all nerd shit. And then obviously high school came around and people were like, "Oh, she's a nerd." Obviously we got bullied. Most of us did, at least I did. Hello. Hello.
I didn't make it out of 10th grade in high school, so
But then but I've always been like an outgoing person, and I feel like because of being bullied and whatever, and also just stuff at home, I never was able to really be my full self. And I feel like the past like 2 or 3 years I have fully been able to just be myself, and it's just been a beautiful thing. Also, shout out to Nana. Are you kidding me? Like, we went to Rhode Island Comic Con, the after party. We were dancing. We were like, it was just so freeing and so fun, and everyone is just so nice. And everyone is like, and then on top of that, I get to do gigs sometimes with Alex. We were Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
That was cool stuff.
Sorry for the little kids watching. That's a spoiler.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah.
Santa Claus is alive, sir.
trust me, I don't think any kids are watching our show. It's definitely known to go under the explicit category. Let's just
fair
say.
enough. Yeah.
Nah, but like, I mean, going back to your point, like, I mean, the Rhode Island Comic Con was awesome. Like, I've been to Rhode Island Comic Con's babe. I think you actually went with me one time. Remember when we brought the girls?
That one was the one that I despised.
You were just she went on a Saturday.
That's the only one my boyfriend will go to. Only Sunday. Only Sunday. Will not go Saturday. He would rather die.
She was there on a Saturday. And
oh no, I'm so sorry, girl.
Yeah, we brought
the thing is I love people. I mean, I really legit do. But when you're too far in my personal space for too long, I'm also a hood rat. So I'm like, but no, so babe, why don't you finish your thought about Rhode Island Comic Con, then I'm gonna jump in and share something that came to mind.
No, I mean, going back to that point was like, it was so just awesome. Like, I went there with Connor, technically. So Connor and I were both like doing cosplay stuff. And then I ran into y'all, which is freaking awesome. And then I just started running to just so many different people. So then like at the after party event, it was super cool because actually my friend Kenneth, who you guys have probably met a couple times at con, he actually was the one that got me into New York Comic Con last year. So he was dressed up as what's the character from Stranger Things? Guitar guy.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie. Yes, I can't think of the name. I knew it began with an E, but I was like,
on stage, I think, for a minute.
Yes, he was on stage. Yeah. He had the like Marty McFly type feel and everything like that. It was cool. Like, I was like, yo, this is a vibe. Like, and you see it's like almost like a prom for people that do cosplays that maybe never had a prom. So it was like awesome to just see all the energy intermingling with, people that I knew from the past cons to new friends that I made at the cons, and it was just like one of those like cultural emergence of just like different energies, and it was just great vibes. Like there wasn't anybody being out of place and stuff like that. It was just very like a great time in general to be in that moment in that space. So yes,
I love that. So I'm going to jump in because, again, the work that I do in Ashley. So I teach people how to manifest, which realistically, my listening audience knows we manifest our reality even without working to manifest, right? And they've been able to measure the energetic output of an individual based on the energy that they exist in, shame and guilt being the lowest vibrations. The most powerful energy that a person can exist in over love is authenticity. And what that is measuring an individual who shows up in the spontaneity of the moment and allows it to unfold however it is without filter, i.e., if I run into Jack Sparrow and all of a sudden, like, I want to dance, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know him. I'm not going to dance with him. But I've just played small. But when I stay true to whatever cultivates in me that comes from empowerment and love, I vibrate at a very high energy, and you attract the energy that you exist in.
100%.
And that's why Nana and I are passionate about highlighting joy in people who are stepping into whatever feels good for them, even if it makes no sense for anybody else, because that is your superpower and the gift you give to the world, truly. So thank you for that. I love that so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. And so with experiencing joy, obviously, in showing up as your unique self, you shared, you were bullied at times. How have you taken those experiences and transmuted them from kind of playing small and kind of curdling, which a lot of people do, to saying, you know what, I'm going to be judged either way. I'm going to just show up and dress in cosplay and be Mrs. Claus or do whatever, and not let that past experience of judgment and bullying impact the joy that you have now?
Oh my God. I mean, I'm not here to just hype up Alex for an hour. I'm really not trying to.
Wait, no. Oh, I'm here under false
We
pretenses.
bow to you, Jack Sparrow. We bow.
No, like, guys, you don't like so real quick, we met on a movie we did together, a short film.
movie?
With Dan Fox.
I
Yeah.
know. Oh, it's just
What
a
the fuck? No, you
It's
gotta
a
talk about
short,
this.
yeah. So we met, and then like we met, we said hi, and then but like the first full day we were there, we literally just clicked.
Yeah.
And we have been inseparable ever since.
Fucking
And
great.
and this happened timing wise crazy for me because I
Yeah.
had just gotten my heart broken by a friend. And I was really upset and just like so down the dumps. And then I met him literally 2 weeks later, which is crazy. And then we went to Fan Expo. So like for me personally, I have never been able to really be my full self. I have always been very like anxious person growing up, very just timid. And that's not who I actually am, as you know. I mean, you guys saw even at the park. Like I'm ready to go now. Like I'll dance with whoever. I just want everyone to be happy. I don't really think anymore. I just do what I want to do, and I think he's really helped me get to that point. Just because we just thrive together. Everything's so simple. There's no stress.
Together.
Like we just literally go. And I think Cusco, my cosplay Cusco, was
Emperor's New Groove, babe. Emperor's New Groove is.
Yes, I think the Cusco cosplay at Rhode Island really helped because people were running up to me being like, "Dude, boom, baby!" Like from the movie, and I was, but I literally felt like I was Cusco. I was just like so, like I said, "Boom, baby," probably 50 times in an hour. Like I was just
Voice
ready
is
to
gone at the end of the
go.
con. Like, bro, I can't even speak anymore.
Yo, bro, about to put me on like a freaking like repeat and just like have a speaker because Jesus Christ, but like I just don't care anymore. Like the judgment is just I've met my people. Well, him, I do, obviously Nana, you too. Like just people that just really bring out the energy, and like you can also just feel energy too. Like you feel if someone's on the same wavelength as you and someone that's not on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah.
But the more we're going to con, like I had a con every single weekend last month. Like I have been nonstop.
Wild, by the way, impressively wild.
And like, dude, like, bro, we met Cal from Keenan and Cal, and like, we were having a stroke in the line, but then we go up, and he just fully embodies Chucky from Rugrats, like this. I'm like, how the hell did you just do that? Magic? Like, what? Like, bro, this is Cal. This is literally Cal from Good Burger.
Like, I remember watching freaking all that and being like, yo, like, all these Nickelodeon shows, like, growing up watching, I'm like, yo, these guys are cool as stuff. Like, you know what I mean? That's like, and I'm like, they're just regular ass people that just happen to just like,
yeah, just chilling. Dude, you are literally Kel. You have these. I told him immediately after, like, this is Nana.
Yeah, I appreciate
it. Literally Nana, but he was chugging Red Bull, the poor guy.
I might have to get some lemonade for that, but you know, what I mean, that's just my thing.
But
well,
sorry,
I want to.
Oh, go ahead.
I want to interrupt. I want to ask you, Alex. Like, I mean, we all as humans having experienced life have, you know, been either judged or criticized or put down for however it is we show up. How have you been able to overcome those types of experiences to really show up and embrace yourself and not play small, despite the fact that it rubs against some people's sense of what's right or wrong?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, if you're embodying a character or dressing up as a character that does not care what other people think about them, then you're halfway there. Because I've said this for years when people come up and they go, dude, like, especially when I'm in the costume, they come up, they're like, man, what's like, how do you do this? How do you just go out there and like, you just talking to people on the street, especially when I would just wander around Boston trying to make a name for myself and just bother people and like the outdoor restaurants and stuff. And I thought, you know, if I just do this until they kick me out, I've at least made a scene and, you know, somebody will say something. Yeah. But it's the people who ask me like, you know, what, how do you do it? And I'm like, well, it's not it's not me. Jack Sparrow's the one who's bothering all these people. It's not Alex. It's, you know, you gotta blame Captain Jack. It's his fault. And I think like subconsciously, even the cosplayers who are like, oh, you know, well, I dress up, but like I don't really like pretend to be the character. So, well, I don't think you realize how in your mind, like when you look in the mirror and you look like that, you're just kind of like, oh man, like, no, it's not me walking out the door. It's Emperor Cusco's got me this today. You know, he's got me covered. He runs the day now.
Boom, baby.
It's crazy how much that happens and people don't realize it. I think that has a lot to do with it. Also, you know, I think we all, if you even have like a shred of creativity in your brain, you have an aversion to like boring people. And if you're out in public and you just see like people being boring or like snobby and you're in the character mode, you're like, I gotta bother these people. Like their boringness is bothering me. I've got to do something. And that's why it's like the I can say like the groups of high school girls who like do not want anything to do with me when they're ordering their dunks and like they just want to do their TikTok dances out on the Boston streets, and I'm like, no, I'm photobombing, thank you very much. And you know, you know, I'm photobombing right now because you know you don't want this, and you're gonna get a little dose of it.
Get it anyway,
Just a little bit, you know. And then some of them are like, oh, that's funny, and they get involved. And so like, as long as that outpouring keeps happening, and like you just sort of let. Because, you know, I forget who always says, like, if you're going to copy somebody in a performance, you just steal from the best because, like, why else would you take from anything else? It's like, well, you just let the character, let the energy do its work, and you're going to wind up with a good situation one way or another, or you're going to get, like, thrown out of a restaurant. But, like, then you at least have a story.
You get dinner for free at that point.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Well, you know, it's so interesting because if you look at some of the greatest performers, they'll tell you that they created an alter ego to overcome a lot of their anxiety. And then it kind of fused into like themselves. And much like you said, Alex, the reality is in any given moment we're different characters anyway, like depending on our belief systems, our habits, our behaviors. And so when you don't have this preconceived notion of how you have to show up or who you need to be in any given moment and you let it unfold, well, I mean, yeah, it rubs people the wrong way, but it also gives those same people like permission to start to do things a little differently that feel better for themselves, which is what Nana does a lot, because Nana will go to the gym as random characters and you see like these very masculine fit men really challenged looking at a man wearing like, pastel colors and different cosplay outfits. And yet, part of them really wants to embody what feels right for them as well.
I mean, going back to you guys' point about playing in character, right? So, like, obviously, I'm rocking the Mickey Mouse right now, right? Like, on a regular day, yeah, that's a really good one, by the way. I remember I did that at a con one time, and I dead ass lost my voice. So, like, I was like, at the point at the end of it, it's like, oh boy, like, damn, my voice is too high.
Oh boy,
Yeah, raspy as hell. But like, go back to the character wise, really, it's like you're just being you, but in the role of the character. Like when I rock the SpongeBob, right? Like SpongeBob is like goofy goober, pun intended. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's just a goofball, like, and he's just like a random ass person, but he just does random shit. So like that within itself, I get to channel that. And then obviously if I'm Mickey Mouse, like Mickey Mouse is just basically the staple of Disney. So like that's just he's everybody's boss, basically. So like
he's my boss as Jack Sparrow.
You see what I mean? Like really, like so like there's so many like characters, and then when I'm Dora the Explorer, like Dora's just exploring and just
Dora is.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
we love the Dora.
There's so many different avenues that you can go about it with these characters, and whether you're the not so muscular person or muscular, at the end of the day, you're just being somebody or something that you appreciate, and you're almost like just giving kudos to. You know what I mean? Like Carrie goes back to the point of like how like certain performers build an alter ego. I mean, as soon as you said that, the first person that came to mind was like Kobe Bryant. You know what I mean? He's one of the greatest basketball players, and like he created this image of the Black Mamba, which is like a stoic, like hella focused, hella driven person when he's on the court. But when he's at home, he can shut that off and be with his family. And like, it's the same thing with us. When you're in character, you are being of the character, because I mean, Jack Sparrow doesn't walk around and be like, damn, this Dunkin' sucks. Like this coffee didn't hit today. Like he's like, they're like, yo, I'm just living life, bro. I don't give a fuck what's going on. You know what I mean? Like that's the character that you get to play in when you are in these roles and things of that nature. So that's my take on it.
I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
So just recently, Nana, right? You and I showed up in cosplay at a concert. Shout out St. John.
Oh,
I saw that. Hell yeah, you guys look great.
Yeah, but Nana caught a lot of hate because of that, or a little hate. And I'm just curious, how do you two, Ashley and Alex, combat hate with joy? Because I fundamentally believe the only way to drive out darkness is through light. And I really challenged anybody who had an opinion about what this individual had to say to Nana to recognize that hurt people. And I work very hard to come from a place of compassion and curiosity rather than just crapping on people who may not understand how I show up. And so I'm curious how maybe doing what feels right for you and being in those moments of joy, how does that help you kind of stay in that positive energy so you're not feeding that narrative of division and fear and judgment that I think is still very pervasive within society?
I think when I'm at like a con, I don't even acknowledge or even notice bad energy. I think I'm so driven on just good energy that if anything bad's even going on, I'm not even paying attention to it. Literally.
Yes.
And I think like someone noticing you at like a concert in cosplay, people just don't like different, like people don't like things that aren't normal. They just don't. They're like, what is that? Like, what is going on? But I'm sure all of them are deep down just like kind of interested though. Like they'll probably go on Instagram and look up you online, like, oh, who was that though? Like, why were they like that? Just people don't like change. People don't like things out of the norm. People like things the way they are, and that's just how it goes, I guess. But I mean, for me, I don't really have any bad comments about anything at any of the cons we've been to, and I do think my energy is just focused elsewhere. I think it's literally focused on having a good time and being present. And I literally have a tattoo. If you could see it, probably not. Oh
We
no.
got this. There we go.
It
Yeah.
it says "Be here now." And
Ooh,
I got that
be here
because
now.
yeah, be here now because
Live
I
in the
grew up
moment.
with anxiety, as we all do, I'm sure. But
Exactly.
like, it's hard to like be present because you're always thinking about the future or the past or this and that, and it's so like just be present and just focus on good stuff, and that'll happen. Like good will happen for you. And if you start thinking negatively, all you're gonna see is negative. All you're gonna see is people having a bad time, being miserable. And I think it's really important to just be with your people, do what makes you happy. You
Yeah.
know. So I don't even notice the bad. Bye.
Well, it's so true, Ashley. What you said is like perspective is everything. You can have one experience and take it two ways, right? So I grew up on my own and have raised myself since I was 14, essentially. I could feel badly about that, or I could really be grateful for the opportunity to have gone through challenges that set me up so that I was able to really be resilient and empower other people. And so perspective has everything to do with how we experience life. And going back to what you attract, if you're choosing to see the good in people, yeah, you might witness or experience things that don't align with how you view the world. But because you see the good, you just kind of glaze over it and attract what is more supportive to you. So I totally agree. What about you, Alex?
Well, I would say number one, I mostly feel bad or sorry for a lot of people who are that judgmental about something like that. Because I mean, truly, if you've got nothing better to do than to just like get annoyed about that, then like, what are you even doing anyway? Number one. Number two, I mean, I think big picture right now, there's a epidemic of like bad vibes, especially among young people who are perpetually on like social media, whether it is body image or mental health struggles or like economic issues or like anything that like you just feel like you do not have it as good as other people. I think like everybody on a personal level has to figure out a way to move past that, because while we are in this world where everybody has access to like everybody else's like life and like information at their fingertips, it's like they're only posting the good things, and like not everybody is like posting about the struggles, and like what people have to do individually is like realize that like um you know other people, like if they're sharing their happiness with you, like why not just kind of like take it, because it can only do you good. And I think a lot of people really struggle with that, and I mean I really hope and pray for people younger than me who grew up in a world where there was just always cell phones and social media in front of them, where they just got this feeling that like since birth that like I'm never going to be that person, I'm never going to be that celebrity, I'm never going to have that many followers. And I think like collectively we have to like cultivate an environment, whether it's at like the Comic Cons or like any event that we do, cultivate an environment where it's like that is not the real world. That is not what like people like us want to make you feel like. Like we just want you to be you, and like we're doing that, and like if you just like understood that, maybe you could lead a much happier existence. So yeah, first and foremost, I feel sorry for people who like come at it with that mindset. And then like, if they really aren't gonna like change their beliefs and they're just like stuck in their mind and they just think what we're doing is weird, they can just go fuck themselves. I mean, like honestly, like that, yeah, like I think that is the most valid response. But you just like you can really try, but when you get to a certain point, that's it. Then it's just like, no, I'm gonna keep doing me. You go off and make someone else like miserable.
Well, you know what's so interesting that I really want to highlight this because it's really true. For the listening audience, they actually do fuck themselves. And what I mean by that is I mean, but no, and here's where I agree with you. Like my heart, I ask Nana, I bleed compassion. Like I don't judge
all the
anybody.
time.
But I will tell you, we create our own reality. So in judging and in holding tightly to a set of beliefs, habits, and behaviors, we either right? We imprison ourselves or
Mm,
we free ourselves. And
mm,
when we're imprisoned, what are we doing? We're sitting and suffering. So we're fucking ourselves, because who wants to sit in hell? And yet, more often than not, individuals, because challenging their belief system feels difficult, or it pushes against family ideology, cultural expectations, religious upbringings, they rather stay in this small box rather than expand their
mm.
thoughts on things, which then frees them and opens them up to bigger and better experiences and more joy. And so I agree with you in that sense, which is why I love surrounding myself with people who just show up as themselves, whether you show up as Jack Sparrow or whether Nana showed up for one of our first like dates shopping as Dora the Explorer.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
You
That was
know,
Hell
wild.
yeah.
That was.
but But in doing that, we experience the gift of living rather than just surviving. And
Mm,
that's
mm,
what I hope the Brightside Chronicles and all of our guests and Nana and I bring to the world is embodying the belief that I don't have to do it the way you do it. You don't have to do it the way I do it, but allowing each other to be and do what feels right for our individual selves and still holding respect and love and admiration for each other
mhm.
is how we show up and experience freedom from suffering in the first place.
Damn. I mean, you guys hit a nail on a lot of points in this conversation. So, context going back to how that even transpired with the whole message that I was sent. So, it was funny because we were literally at a concert. So, like, just going to a concert dressed up as Chun-Li and Vegeta from, Dragon Ball Z and Street Fighter, whatever. And then I woke up the next morning to that. So, I thought it was kind of weird because, I mean, the last conversation I ever had with that person was congratulating them for being sober. That was like that's the context behind it. And this is like year
It
ago.
didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
So,
When you
so
said
when I
it to
saw
me, like,
that,
what? I don't even know what they mean. I
Yeah.
literally don't
I
even know
didn't-
what they mean.
I saw it and I thought about it and I literally sat there for a bit. Babe, you were sleeping, but I just sat in the bed and I was just like, damn, what the heck? Like I was just minding my own business, just enjoying my own life. And so like it had me shocked because I was like, did I do something wrong? Like, but then I was like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I was living my life and I just dressed up as a character that I really vibe with. And so I could have went on a tangent and spazzed out on the person, but then I thought about it and I was like, this is only feeding into that negativity that I don't really have time for. And it's a Sunday morning. My favorite anime is on. Like, I'm gonna go watch some anime stuff. So
Right.
I literally went downstairs, watched the anime, and I said, I'm gonna leave that message there. I'll respond when I have my mind clear. So I watched the anime episode, absolutely loved it. I watched it again because it's just on point. So I had to rewatch it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just send them like love and just keep moving and just block that because I don't have time for that. Like life is too short. And like you're talking about the whole be here now thing. I really focus on living in the now. Like I'm big about that.
Mhm.
Gary can attest to it. Like I really be like, yo, I can't think of the 5-year plan. Like I get it. It's nice to have that, but God forbid, you never know. Like I can't worry about too much about the future and I can't worry about the past that's already happened, but I can live in the now and control what I live in that moment. So like
Yeah.
to me, that was just like something that I was just like, this doesn't serve me in the future. Why do I have to worry about it? And it's already in the past. Whatever she said and how she felt about it, it's already past me and I just gotta focus on the now. So like going back to that point is like I can't worry too much about what other people's perception of who I am as a person. Like, if you don't know me, and the funny thing is, it said you seem. So, like, when somebody says seem, it's like you don't really know the person. So that context is like you seem like that's so vague. Like, I
Yeah.
just thought it was weird. So,
Well, I think, here's the thing that I know to be true, right? Think about it. It's a lot easier to cast judgment when we're separated, which is why it's much
hmm,
more difficult to hate somebody when you're up close and personal,
hmm,
right? Like for me to cast judgment on Nana because of his skin color, but then I'm in close proximity with him and engaging in conversation. It's really difficult to have those biases. And that's why I encourage people, ask yourself why you have resistance, what's coming
hmm,
up for you,
hmm,
and instead of judging somebody else, ask what you need to examine for yourself that makes you uncomfortable, because it really is something within your own makeup that's kind of keeping you separate from that connection with somebody, because we're all interconnected. And something you said, Alex, that I love is, in an age of social media and computers, we see the highest rates of suicidal ideation. 80% of Americans are on some type of mental health drug or admit to drinking or using some substance more than they would like, whether it's food, gambling, whatever. And the reality is, it's because we're not connected. We as a human species, energetically, we thrive on connection, which is why I love the con. And I love that Nana has this huge community of individuals who show up and do unique things that make them happy, like Taki, like slapping around a weight. Something that just cracks me up. I'm like, dude, you're hilarious, right? And without that, we sit in what you said, Ashley, like our heads, our overthinking. I think our greatest addiction is thinking. Overthinking. When you're not engaged in connection, you're sitting there by yourself ruminating on all your past mistakes or perceived mistakes, or what's going to happen in the future. But when you're engaged with individuals in this present moment, you're not worried. You're just present. And that is really where we all operate in our superpower, because this is the only time we have right now, is right now.
Yep.
I mean, I just love, it's funny that this came about, because I actually had posted something on Facebook today saying, like, I'm of the age of where there was, like, before social media, you know what I mean? And I remember going outside and having, like, basketball games, to, like, being in the bicycle club with friends that all had bikes, and we just ride around like we were like biker gang type things. And even like playing in like a sand lot where we played kickball or mat ball, whatever it is. You kick a ball and you run around the bases. But anyhow, we used to do that. That was the age before social media. And not saying social media is a bad thing, because there are pros and cons to it, and it's how you utilize that power. I think the quote from the great Uncle Ben is, with great power comes great responsibility. You know what I mean? So, like, sorry, I had to throw that in there, because Marvel, we were talking about superheroes. But literally, like, that within itself is how you utilize the power of social media. You know what I mean? If you're using social media for, monetary gains, do what you got to do, but understand what comes with that as well, too. If you're using it for, followers and things of that nature, that's okay. As long as you stay true to your core of the people that have been vibing with you, that's an icon by itself. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. Like, I can thankfully put up, a fitness video, and that will motivate people to get to the gym. Or I can put up cosplay stuff that will motivate people to be like, oh shit, he dressed up in this character. And the same thing with you guys. What you guys do is, like, go into these cons, like the 90s con. That was cool as shit. I was like, yo, like, I haven't been, but like the way the schedule was, I was like, nah, I can't make it. But like, it made me excited to see, like, live vicariously through you guys, go into the cons and just seeing, like, oh man, like, this is like people that I grew up watching, and you guys are getting to meet them. Like, that stuff is cool to me. I think it's just fascinating, because you're just like, it's a little nostalgia, because you're like, damn, I just want to just soak up as much as the 90s I can get before that decade is gone, you know what I mean, or that era is gone. So that within itself is just cool stuff. And like, seeing that was just like, this is cool. I was like, not in a creepy way, but I was kind of watching you guys' stories. I was like, yo, let me see what y'all up to today, because I got to find this shit out real quick.
It was a blast.
Yeah, incredible. And hey, we'll take the views. If you creep on our stories, it's fine. We'll take the views.
Well, but so here's the thing that I love that you guys said is, so Alex and Ashley, you guys are approachable. You're relatable, right?
Yep.
When we went to when you showed up at Nana's birthday party, even my brother-in-law was like, yo, Jack Sparrow slayed it. He had hands down the best costume. He killed it, right? But you engaged with people. And I think that's a gift that connection brings. And to your point, Nana, with great power comes great responsibility. I think that whatever it is you're doing that brings you joy, it's nice to see people still stay humble and connected, right? Nana has a huge following himself. He has people who go and ask him about fitness. He does cons with our 13-year-old nephew, and he never puts himself above anybody, and he's always willing to lend a hand. And I think being in joy and being empowered, you feel more inclined to just extend yourself joyfully rather than separate yourself, because you think that you're either too good or you're too anxious to engage in conversation and helping other people out.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually, you just jogged my memory. I remember I was working the Special Olympics up in Harvard, and the head doctor of some department, important person, who I was hanging with some of the staff of, just like chatting, and he pulled me aside and he was like talking to me, and I've been in and out of hospitals for at least some of my childhood. I've a nerve condition. It's been a thing,
Huh.
but so I've been very close with like doctors throughout my life, so I'm very comfortable talking to them. And so we're chatting, but and things got personal, and like by the end we were talking about all this, and he was just like, man, he's like, it's just like people, like more people like you would be great. Like if all these people, like if they just did what you did, like, oh man, I can't tell you how much easier my job would be. And I'm like the doctor, but I'm like, but like you're like a doctor who does like the most important thing and saves lives, and like I'm like, you're saying that to me? That's insane. And like I say not to brag, but just to
No,
say that like you don't
correct,
realize how like
correct.
the people you look up to, and like what you might think is the most important thing in the world, and like that is like obviously like doctors are very important, but the
Mhm.
fact that one of them like told a cosplayer like, oh, I wish like there were more of you hanging out all the time,
Yeah.
it's like that's crazy to me. It's like, to me, you're the top of the totem pole, and you're like, nah, like I want more of you. Like the fact that that cycle goes is mind boggling, and there's like so many like high profile, especially actors who I see
Yeah.
now when like everything is so accessible on like devices and stuff,
Yeah.
that they do not lose the humility, and they do, they spend hours with their fans. They leave events super
Yep.
late because they don't want to miss the last person. And it's like stuff like that where it's like the people who never lose that touch are never going to die. Like
Yep.
those are the people you're going to talk about forever.
Forever.
And like, hey, like he was going to leave an hour ago, but I was standing in line and he came up and said hi to me and wouldn't like leave. And like that one interaction at a con, like, man, I'll talk about him forever. Like that kind of thing. If we keep doing that, yeah, I mean, I think it'll
You
go on
know,
forever.
Nana came home from a con recently, and he said to me that he had been asked to do a push-up challenge with a gentleman last year at a con, and that gentleman lost his battle with mental health, right? But
Yep.
the reality is his sister came up to Nana and
Oh
made
my
sure to
gosh.
say that Nana had made a positive impact in his life by just connecting with them. And again, it kind of reinforces this idea that, rather than sitting in judgment, like to me, I don't get the enjoyment of dressing up in cosplay and spending the time, scrolling to find my next outfit. But I love the joy it brings to Nana. So
Yeah.
why do I don't have to get it? I like that I get to experience my partner who is a happy person who brings light and love to me and our kids and brings joy. So in doing that, and allowing ourselves to be infused with joy, that is truly how we will create more unity rather than continuing this narrative of judgment and division, which really is just harming everybody, because we all thrive when we're all thriving.
Oof. Oh my gosh. So I just want to say about that experience. That was so awesome because I met her brother at Rhode Island Comic Con. It was for one of my friend's birthday, and I was wearing the SpongeBob outfit, so I was walking around. I saw him, and I was like, "Yo, like you kind of look like you're kind of built like I wouldn't have been challenging. I wanted to challenge someone, and literally, I was like, "Yo, let's do something." So he actually beat me in rock paper scissors shoes, which I was kind of like, "Damn, bro!" Like he got me twice, and I'm pretty good at rock paper scissors shoes. Like I ain't trying to lose. So they beat me in rock paper scissors shoes. I said, "Okay, cool. Like let's do some push-ups just for fun because we both look kind of built." So we did the push-up challenge. And it was cool because like you got to see him. He's like, "Yo, like this random ass dude in a freaking SpongeBob outfit is challenging me to push-ups and rock paper scissors shoes." And that within itself was cool as heck because it's just different. It wasn't like the regular like whatever it is. But I feel like I've learned to try to incorporate a sense of like fitness into the cosplay community. Not that like, you know, you're gonna become like a bodybuilder, but just to kind of just challenge people to just like step out of their comfort zone, you know what I mean? And that's something that's become a thing for me. Like any con that I go to, I just try to just push up challenge. I've actually, somebody came up to me, babe, do you remember that? We were in I think it was Connecticut, and somebody came up to me and they wanted to challenge me in the push-up competition, and I was like, how the frick did we get here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But like, people get excited about stuff like that, and it's like the same thing with like having those experiences. Is that goes a long way for his sister to come up to me and was like, "Yo, like, you know, are you the guy that met my brother?" And they just put two and two together. And I was like, "Holy crap!" And it was so interesting because my friend Connor was dressed up as Doodle Bob, and her brother had a Doodle Bob tattoo on him with his best friend who was there at the time. And she's like, it was one of those like, I know in that moment, in that instant, he brought us all together in that, and it felt really like wholesome. And I get teary-eyed talking about it because I know he was a genuinely good dude, and he just had some things that he had to figure out that he just couldn't get to that point of, you know, whatever it is. But like, it was just so cool just to like have it all converge in that moment. And his sister did like push-ups with us, and I was like, yo, she couldn't work. Like, that's cool stuff right there.
Hell yeah.
So it was beautiful. It was a beautiful moment.
So Ashley and Alex, aka Jack Sparrow, which by the way, listening audience, here's the thing. I mean, hands down, you kill it as Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
Like, you really, I'm just like
Best Jack Sparrow of all time right here.
like, I'm 45, so you guys gotta understand, Johnny Depp to me was like
Your crush?
First celeb crush all over my wall.
Oh my god! I'm like, but anyway.
I thank him for all the free drinks, you know.
Yeah,
I
bet you do.
Yeah.
But no, so you know, we have like about 9 minutes left of the show. I'm just curious, what is what's next for you? I know you guys are about living in the moment, but where do you see showing up as yourself and stepping into more moments of bravery, doing more shows with me and Nana, or coming with us to be in a parade at some point or whatever? Like, where do you hope to see yourselves in the ability to cultivate more joy for yourselves throughout your lives, not just with cosplay and cons, but just how you show up every day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you go. Hopes and dreams. Go dump it. Go for it. Yeah.
God. Well, yeah, I think the last year or so I've really come into my own, confidence wise, fitness wise, like just mentally and physically. And with that being said, I've kind of I grew up doing theater, for instance, and I haven't done theater since I was in my teens, and I actually just joined School of Rock.
Let's go!
And she's so good. She's so good. I saw her live once, and I mean, already she's so good.
Yo!
But like I miss singing. I used to sing all the time, and I haven't sung on stage in a band in my whole life. And we had our first gig a month ago, and I was so nervous. But like that was beyond out of my comfort zone. So the fact that I did that, I was just so proud of myself. Thanks.
You know, there's two things I want to highlight. One, Nana has told me 4 times about you singing. Like,
I've been promoting.
We heard the song, and he's like, "Yo, my girl, Ashley," and I'm like, and I love that. And the other thing that you said that I want to highlight for the listening audience, and it's because it's my job, so I have to do this. You said you were proud of yourself. And what I always encourage people to understand is Nana and myself can think you're amazing, but if you don't know you're amazing for yourself, you can't affirm that for yourself, you will be a slave to externals. And so I love that not only are you showing up and pushing yourself outside of what feels safe for you, but you're acknowledging that you're being brave. And in doing that, the sky's the limit, because you said you're 25. I'm going to be 45 in May. So I have 20 years on you.
Hold on. Hold on. He's 25. I'm 33. So
but
still, okay.
But still, you still.
The
reality is who you can become with that mindset and mentality is limitless. So shout out to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, for the future, I mean, we got cons lined up. I mean,
Right.
and he also is part of Heroes for Hire, which they do volunteer work for a different convention. So we're actually going to be up on
Nice.
Sunday for Kids Con. We have our own little. We have a booth. I don't know. We have something. We're like featured guests, which is really cool.
Okay.
I gotta
Yeah,
give you
so
kudos.
we're just.
I
It's been
love
really,
that.
and I love this podcast. Like I want to do all of it, and it's just the more confidence, even him too. I don't want to speak
Yeah.
for you, but like I feel like we're getting more and more and more confident, and
Yeah.
with
As
that,
you
we're
should.
bringing more energy, positive energy in. We're doing more things, and it's just been really fulfilling and really special.
I
Ooh.
love all of that so much. And what about you, Alex?
My passion my whole life has been acting, ever since I was 6. I mean, it is literally the only thing that I would like, that I 100% feel comfortable doing. Everything else, there's lots of other things I can do, but if I'm not on stage or doing some kind of acting thing, then it's like that is the only time I'm 100% in my comfort zone. So future for like the rest of my life, I mean, the dream goal would be to be a working actor and be in major length productions and get paid for it, and travel, especially do stuff in other countries, see locations that I would not see otherwise, just through that craft. I mean, that would be extraordinary. On top of that, I mean, the Jack Sparrow thing has gotten me to just places I never thought would ever happen. It's living. I mean, when people say you're like living the dream, it is because you just sort of feel like you're floating through like these kinds of things, and you're like, I can't believe I'm here. This is happening.
Yep.
And I mean, like Ashley was saying, this is objectively our busiest year. We have so many things lined up. It is crazy, and I mean, I think our calendar is only filled until like May, and I mean, it's like if it's filled until then, I can only imagine what is
Yeah.
going to happen after that.
And we're trying to go to New York Comic Con. Let's
and we're
go.
trying to go to New York
Already
Comic Con.
Oh, listen, Nana
Um,
will be there. You know
Yep.
what? I'll be there to help him with his outfits.
Hey, all right.
But
You just never
listen,
want support. That's what it is.
always listen. I'm here to support it all. But you know something that Denzel Washington is one of my favorite actors, and he said
Me
something
too.
that I love, which was, I never
Love
understood
Denzel.
having a plan B. If I was gonna feel, I wanted to feel forward. And Ashley, you said you love singing. Alex, you say you like acting. You know, Nana has never not worked out, which is awesome, because if he's having a bad day, he goes to the gym instead of come home and be cranky pants to me. So me and the girls love it. But
It's a very healthy output.
I
Yeah,
know
it
my
is,
super suit.
but in all reality is, think about it. The more you just say yes to opportunities, because either one of you could have been like, nah, I don't want to jump on your show. That's a little outside my comfort zone. The more doors open. And so, and then something else, Heroes for Hire, you know, when you extend yourself, right? When you give, you shall receive. And I tell people all the time, giving from an altruistic place, so not doing it in order to get something, you will always receive more than you've ever extended. And so being able to do that, I have no doubt you'll achieve your dreams, both of you. And I'm so honored you're here. You're welcome to join us anytime you want to party with us,
That's
right?
so sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this was
for sure.
incredible.
Just
Thank you
jump
so
on
much.
and yeah, me and Nana we like to party with
We
fun
just
people.
we just vibe with the energy, you know what I mean? And
Yep.
like I love the fact that like y'all have so many things, and we didn't even get to talk about the fairs. Like y'all do
I know.
Renaissance
fairs,
Fairs,
like
King Richard's
Renaissance
Fair,
fairs.
Connecticut Fair. Let's go.
Like I just feel like I like to see the journey of y'all just like living life, because it's cool to me. Like just like you're just two regular people just enjoying the moments of life and not worrying too much about what other people perceive yourself as. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was the thing that I loved about when I met both of y'all. I was like, yo, like Alex and Ashley are just like literally like myself, of like we just try to just embody whatever brings us a sense of happiness and joy. And it goes a long way, because like you're inspiring people, you know what I mean? Whether it's, you know, Heroes for Hire, or whether you're, you know, Mrs. Claus at a, you know, mall or wherever you're at, like you're still inspiring people, because like, oh my gosh, like that's somebody to look up to, you know what I mean? Like that gives a sense of like, not even like altruistic, like I'm the end all be all, but it gives you like, oh man, like if they can do it, I can probably do something like that too, you know what I mean? I have friends that are doing, you know, one of my friends, Jesus, he's working on voice acting, and I'm like, man, like what made you think about that? And he's like, well, he's a big anime head and he's studied these voices constantly. And so like he's getting into that space of voice acting. But I'm like, well, who do you look up to? And he's like, well, I look up to like the Dragon Ball Z actors, like Chris Sabat, who's a big person in like the industry of Dragon Ball Z and anime stuff. And so I'm like, damn, that just shows like he has somebody that he looks up to as a role model. So that's a huge thing that you guys get to implement on a lot of people. So thank you for that, for all you guys do.
Yeah, and I'll just say the people watching, and if you watch the clips later, and like please support these two because we love you so very much.
Y'all too, love y'all too.
But if you see any of us like out and about at a convention in public, any of that stuff, like please approach us. Like you guys watching and you guys supporting like the craft and all that. Like it's the reason we get to keep doing it and enjoy doing it at the time. So like we are approachable. Come say hi. Take a picture with us. If you just don't jump on my back and expect to piggyback, or else,
and I want to, lastly highlight, Ashley, thank you for your vulnerability and sharing about your anxiety, because I do believe our superpower is our story and helping other people see that just because this is something they've experienced doesn't mean they're stuck with it. And the same holds true for you as well, Alex, with having, medical challenges. We all go through suffering. It's how we choose to move through our experiences, whether victimized or through joy, that makes our experience palatable or misery. And you guys chose joy. And for that, I am so honored that you guys are here. Guys, until next week on the Brightside Chronicles, Nana and I encourage you to follow both Ashley and Alex and share this. And if you have any questions, let us know.
Appreciate you guys. Thank